Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're just going to take a look at some more Mawile with Lantern and we got Ferrothorn. We're going to be using a couple of different other Pokemon throughout this video here, and we're kind of just going to stick to this until we're done with this Fossil Cup here, and on the 27th, that's when we're going to be able to go into the Ultra League finally and get out of this here. But for now, it's very rock, paper, scissory, and it is what it is. I'm always kind of happy when Mawile is this relevant. And we are going to be switching Iron Head to play rough. You're probably going to want to use Iron Head over, or play rough over Iron Head on your Mawiles. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a story time here, folks. Okay, I got to correct myself. I kept on calling Zygarde's perfect form Zordon, right? Oh, you guys corrected the hell out of me in the comments. And I appreciate it. I mean, it's fine. It's all good and dandy. But what's going on is I was calling, that form Zygarde perfect form Zordon, but I meant to say Megazord. That's what yeah, the one with all of them connected, the original one. So we're going to talk about my fondest toy that I've ever had in my childhood, which is going to be the Megazord, and there's a long story behind it, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. If you do enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Really do appreciate it. And with that said, let's get into this here. Now, as far as the age that I'm gonna have to say I was around, had to be between 7 and 9 years old, okay? Now, if you're from Anchorage, we do have a McDonald's over in Jewel Lake that has a playland. It's been upgraded, I don't even know how many times. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in, over 15 years now. I mean, if anything, I've had an ice cream cone, or I've drove somebody through the drive-thru. All right, so anyway, my mom would take us to this playland over there, and it would be vacant because she would kind of take us around 7 or 8, and then we would stay until they closed. And she was studying to become a nurse, so she would just sit there and work on her studies while me and my brother were just having a blast. I always loved it. If there was kids there or not, I was just always playing, having a good old time. So one day there was this kind of kid who was, I didn't know it at the time, but now I know. He was, I do believe, sort of autistic, but he didn't kind of look autistic. He kind of just acted like that, very, different for his age. But I didn't, I was a kid. You just play with whoever. You don't care. Who cares? But apparently, we got along so well, the mom started talking to my mom and stuff like that. And she said that he has a hard time playing with other kids. So she was like, well, I appreciate your son, being so kind to him. So she invited me over to their house to play with her son, and they live downtown, and they got it's like a certain part of downtown, not quite downtown, like behind Westish. Now they had a mansion. See, they were rich. And when I got there, again, it wasn't like, oh, rich, look at this. I just thought, oh, big house. Like, okay, well, I was just thinking that. And then we get in there, and I get to his like basement, or his like the playroom, whatever, right? And I was like, wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. All these toys, right? And amongst all these toys, there was the Megazord. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now, this wasn't a Megazord model. It was all of the individual robots that the Power Rangers had that could combine. And it was very, like, authentic. See, they don't make things like that nowadays. I don't think they do. But this was insane, right? So I'm sitting there looking at it like, I didn't even want to touch it. I'm like, if I kept playing with it, I wouldn't want to let it go, right? But that was intense. That was the first time I saw that. So anyway, what's going to happen is, not long story short, but kind of skipping all this stuff there, played and, good times. Anyways, his mom told my mom that she was returning it because he didn't really like it. And I was thinking, oh, she's like, and the only way to get those Power Rangers with all of them together, right? Like in the set back in the day, and even now, I don't even probably go for thousands of dollars if you have them like perfect condition with the box and stuff. But the only way to get those was to be there when it arrived, right? And that was it. There was people waiting. Oh, there was people that have time to sit around all day and wait for these things, and that's what they did. So she tipped her off that she was bringing it by this time. So as soon as she brought it in to return, my mom bought it. So I had it, and I just was in awe, and I couldn't believe it. I don't know what happened to it. I remember that being one of the coolest, and to this day, one of my favorite toys. I remember another one that I did had a lot of great toys, but there was another Beast Wars. It was the ant. I always thought that one was so cool, But I had a lot of the Beast Wars toys. A lot of Jurassic Park. I remember the one that for Jurassic Park 2, they came out with a T-Rex that was so big that it could swallow things and its stomach kind of had a big slit in it so you can get everything out. And I remember I had like the Jeep and the people and the Velociraptors. It was always on. Oh, it was always so fun. But great childhood. There is my toy. Favorite toy, the Megazord. I couldn't believe that I had that thing. And I kind of curious what the hell happened to that. And then when time went on, the collection got better. I got the Green Ranger's, I forgot what its name was. I don't even remember. But, you know, the Godzilla looking one. So I had that one, and then there was like another one that I didn't get because they started getting expensive and I started getting a little bit older. And they were like $110. They're like, okay, well, this is the only toy you're going to get this year. I was like, oh, good. Something to that degree, right? So good old times, good old days. But there were so... You wanted to be so fragile. I was the kind of kid that just took care of his stuff that I wouldn't even be rough with it. I would play with them. I remember eventually there came a time where I just started mashing them together. I was like, whatever. If we want to keep on going down the toy route, let's keep going with this. You can see what's going on here. A lot of these are rock, paper, scissory. Okay, so I took a trip with my dad to Costa Rica when I was 12. And you're like, wow, a little old there, huh? I mean, 12 years old. I mean, you still can play with toys, but it wasn't really kind of a toy you play with. I was into Mega Man, right? Mega Man X specifically. That was, you could never find toys for those when you were younger. If you did, they were kind of like just the single plastic ones that didn't move around. So anyways, we're traveling, and somewhere between Texas and Costa Rica, I don't remember where, but I think it was in Costa Rica in their mall. I found these Mega Man X models that you don't really play with. You make them and you set them aside. And I bought a couple and I was like, damn, these are amazing. So I bring them back to America and, you know, show my brother. He was just like, I was like, don't touch it, right? And then I found them actually in Anchorage and I got a couple of more and I had a little set there just all, you know, organized in my room. And then I come home one day and my cousin and my brother still laugh about it. And it's all good. I was pissed at the time, but I come home and I hear, psh, psh, yeah, get him. So I'm like, it's coming from my room. I'm like bracing myself. I had a feeling. I was like, oh, I have a feeling I know what's going to happen right about now. And I go in there. My cousin's there playing with my brother. They're like the same, they're like a year apart, right? They were like best friends. And they're smashing the Mega Man parts. They're just destroyed completely. These models are just utterly, completely destroyed. Like, I could put them back together, I suppose, but even some of the pieces that you just snapped together were broken in places that you weren't going to be able to snap them back. And I just looked in there, and I actually don't even remember what I did. I don't even think I yelled at them. I just kind of looked in there and just walked out like, damn, I think I had a date or something that night. So I was like, I don't care. At this point, it was just like a year later. I was like 13 or 14. But good times, folks. Anyways, what's going on here? I want to keep on talking about memories here. Keep on rambling. Everybody's been saying the mic quality is great. I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully it's good right now. I'm a little bit further than usual and talking a little bit softer than usual. I got a little bit of a different setup for this while my back is healing. I'm almost back to normal. Actually, this healed quite quickly. So like 2 more days and I should be like perfection. But yeah, I'm happy I got this mic. The best investment. I could have bought in about, I don't know, maybe 3 of these compared to all the little mics that I've been buying over the years. You have no idea. But anyways, we're here several years later. And what's going on here? Ferrothorn putting in that work. They got an Escavalier. Oh, they got 4 times weak to fire, 2 times in the back. And Mawile is going to tear it up. And they're backing out and we take that win. Leading with the Lantern. Met with the Jellicent. That's a great lead here. Sounds good to me. We'll take it. Now we just got to be careful for a catch or something like that. But they're not going to be catching. All right, I'm going to use a shield. Sounds good to me. Now, we could take a Shadow Ball pretty nice. But yeah, actually, typically I would shield it up. But looks like we're going to let it go. They swap into their own Lantern. Having used a shield already, they're down a shield. And I bring in my Ferrothorn. And, well, this is, you know, great. We're going to make sure we come out of this with energy. Ferrothorn is going to be able to handle 2 of the Pokemon on their team here. We do have that Jellicent building up to 2 Power Whips here. This shouldn't quite KO, and we will be able to farm down here, bringing us low enough for them to take us out easily with the Shadow Ball at this point. And all right, we're farming them down. A water or a surf will not be enough to take us out. We go for thunder. I do believe it's an Escavalier. What was that? Yes, Escavalier sounds good. And they're going to get a little bit of farm, but since we are up a shield, we're perfectly okay. They immediately swap, and I systematically bring in the lantern here. And we're going to call that. Still holding on to 2 of our shields. Going to go for a surf to see if we can get that last shield. And we do. They saw them all while very briefly there. All right, getting their last shield, going for a Thunderbolt to take out the Jellicent. And we do not have much health. They're going to be able to farm us down here, but we still have 2 shields. And we still win with 2 shields. And we're looking good here. Mawile, folks. Yeah. Love to see this little thing putting in that work, and we have the best lead here. Well, not quite the best, pretty much. And they're going to be swapping, and it looks like we got the good old shiny Fortress on our team. This is a very unique shiny here. Pretty much all one color, other than they'll ring around it. But an all solid color here, pretty cool. You gotta admit, and it's gold. Come on. Pretty good stuff here. And no, this is a really wacky team. If I get a certain lead, I'm screwed. I get it. I'm just having a little fun here at this point. There's nothing I can do. I know I can go 5-0 and then all of a sudden it's just hard counter city and there's nothing I can do, and it putters right when I get to my charge move, allowing them to hit it first when I should have been able to go first. All these little inconveniences that start to add up to not me ranking up, right? So who gives a damn? All right, taking out that Escavalier, and we are looking good with that play rough. So we're building up some energy, swapping into our lantern to catch a surf, and we are in fact catching a surf. Fantastic. This is their last Pokemon. They've got 2 shields left, so we're going to have to start baiting here. And since we do have play rough on the Mawile, that is going to be pretty good. But I think we're not actually. I think we do go for that. So they're calling it, still holding onto their shields. Oh, okay. Sounds good to me. We're going to go ahead and go for another surf here. Finally getting a shield out of them here. If they go for Thunderbolt, that's not going to be enough. Or, I mean, that is going to be enough. They're going to have to go for Thunderbolt. If they go for Surf, that's not enough. And we're going. They're farming up. Now it's going to be enough. Surf will be able to take us out here. We're going to let it go. Bringing in the Mawile. Now, things are getting a little interesting here. They're going to be using up pretty much all of their energy. And we are able to get to the play rough. This will be enough to take them out. Would an Ironhead if we... Yeah, I think an Ironhead would have done it too. But yeah, play rough is just going to be that much better to have. All right, we're going up against all numbers here. Let's go. Heard this could be a glitch on people's account, or it could be a bot. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Whatever. You never know nowadays, right? Unless you know that person from Twitter or literally a friend on your friends list or something like that. All right, let's see. What do we power up punch here? A little late on that. I don't know what I was trying to. I was waiting for a swap, because a lot of times after you go for the power punch, they immediately swap. But of course, not this time. We've used a shield, and they're going to be bringing in a Jellicent. I immediately swap into the Fortress, which is not going to be ideal to go up against it, but it is what we have, so we're going to go ahead and just go with it. They bring in a Berserker, and we go immediately for the Earthquake here. And fortunately, they shielded up. Of course they do. We've got Rock Tomb, so not necessarily holding on to anything that's going to be baity here. It's just going to be going all or none. We're getting to the Rock Tomb, hopefully getting another shield from them. They don't want to go down with all that energy. And they're using both shields here. Great. Now I have to make the decision on what I want to do. If I want to bring in the Mawile to pretty much just get absorbed in a close combat and not use this shield, we're going to let it go. Let it take us out pretty much. We immediately swap, bringing in a Jellicent. I figured they're going to go for Surf to do a combo breaker, but they realized that, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap because they were not able to land that, and they back out. We take that win there. Moving it on to the next one. What are we going to see with that Mawile, a Ferrothorn? Fantastic. What are they going to do? What can they do? All right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Right. See, now this is... All right, look. This team is so much better with Ferrothorn. Simple as that. I'm only using Fortress because I just want to do something different. That's it. I want to bring you a little extra spice on that. Okay, so yeah, we would have been so much better here if we had Fortress, right? Or I mean, Ferrothorn. So of course they're going to be shielding that up and farming us down, and now we're in a bad position, able to get to Surf, at least able to get to this, I guess. And we're getting both shields. Okay, well that just turns the tide of everything. Okay, we could pull this around. Since we do have play rough, it's not all doom and gloom yet. Okay, unless they have like a Mad Cargo in the back, then yeah, that's not going to be looking too good for us here. Able to bug bite them down. Let's go. Still holding on to 2 shields and in the green. Immediately swapping into my Mawile as they do bring in their Ferrothorn, and they've got their own Mawile in the back. Is that going to be a shiny and shadow? No, just... Oh, sorry. Just a normal Mawile, but it's still cool. Nice Mawile. They're backing out. It was pretty much a wrap. We take the win there. Moving it on to our next one. Why did I think that was Shiny and Shadow? Next battle, leading with Shadow Cradily, and we're met with a Lantern. Great lead. They immediately swap. We bring in our Lantern up against their Pelipper. What can you do? How is this an esport right here? Show me and tell me anything. I'm listening and I'm waiting. Now, I'm throwing this right here. This is not particularly the best thing to do, but I wanted to hold on to a little bit more health, seeing that they did lead with that Lantern, and we can kind of go to toe-to-toe for a minute here. Although a Thunderbolt should be enough to take us out, we may survive with about 1 HP, maybe? No, we're going down there. All right, so we've won the swap. They immediately swap into their Escavalier. We bring in Mawile, and that's a wrap. Again, esport, not so much. Next battle, we're going to be met with a Pelipper. Now, this is fine, yeah. So long as we don't get hit by a Hurricane. Now, those Weather Balls will add up, but we're going to be able to spam this Rock Slide, which essentially one-shots it when you're a Shadow. It brings it down to where you have to hit it with like about 3 or 4 more Bullet Seeds. So going for the next Rock Slide here, do they want to double shield their Pelipper? They do? Okay. Hey, you do what you gotta do. Now we're gonna let this go. We're gonna bring in the Lantern. More than likely, they're going to immediately swap, and we've got to think about that Mawile here. So here we are. They're going to be building up energy and then bringing in their Cradily here. Now this is not a particularly great position for me to be in. We're gonna go ahead and swap into Mawile. We're still holding on to 2 shields. Now, if there is a Ferrothorn in the back, and we lose Mawile, it's a wrap. Obviously, Lantern can't go up against it, even if it had, I don't know, 4 shields. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Well, me, I'm 4 shields? Maybe not. All right, anyways, we're going to shield this up and get off a play rough here just to see if there is a grass in the back or a steel type. Going to go ahead and go for that play rough to take them out here, and we do have a Whiscash. Okay, now this is going to get a little interesting. Yeah, ground types are definitely going to screw over the Lantern as well as the Mawile in the back for sure. Or at least that core that we have going on here. That's why the Fortress is not necessarily something that you would want to put on this team here. Again, I'm just having a little fun with it, and you're definitely going to be wanting to go with Ferrothorn if you're using Mawile or Lantern here, right? So we're bringing in the Mawile. Crap, what's going on here? Going for a Power Punch. What do we have here? And don't think yep, nope, we're not going to be able to pull this one off, unfortunately. That's a good game, though, to my opponent. Good game, good game. All right, moving it on to our next one. What are we going to see here? Another Pelipper. All right, so it's time for a little revenge on the Cradily's end here. Let's go ahead and see what we have going on. Going to immediately throw this Rock Slide. They're going to get off this Weather Ball. We'll easily let this first one go. Seeing that we are going to be Rock as well as Grass, we're not necessarily taking super effective from the water or the flying, but it is doing a decent amount. And with my impatientness, or should I give them their credit, they caught a nice Rock Slide with their shiny Ferrothorn there. Very good, so we're going to go ahead and swap into our Mawile, farm them down, get to the Play Rough up against this Lantern here. This is why having Play Rough is just going to be so much better. Going to do a ton if they let it go. Unfortunately, they're going to be shielding it up and then farming me down, and this is where having... okay, we got Cradily. This team is more evened out now. Never mind. Yeah, it's pretty good now. Although I would pick Fortress or Ferrothorn over Cradily. I'm just, again, trying to pick something outside the box and not the same team over and over again, right? So we're up against their Lantern. They swap into their Pelipper here. I build up a little bit more energy and realize, I should have just tapped on it barely and then farmed them down some more. That would have been a lot better for me here. So we're going to go for Thunderbolt as they do bring back their Lantern here. And they let it go. I'm pretty sure they did that because they know I have energy on my Cradily, which we do. We have pretty much a charge move ready to go, so they had to keep that in mind, and we take the win there. Moving it on to our next opponent. What are we going to see? Got a 30-minute video for you. Shadow Mawile. Oh shoot, what are we going to do here, folks? My own mascot against me. This is no problem. All right, I know what it can take. Whatever we have to do here, we'll just let it all go. It's no problem at all. Going to be able to farm me up pretty good at this point. That's what they're going to do, I would assume. Yeah, shielding up that Rock Slide. Yeah, then farming me down using a shield, still holding on to 2 ourselves. We're going to bring in Lantern, and what we're going to do is we're going to farm them down. We're going to shield this up because Play Rough powered up from a Shadow Mawile. You don't really want to get hit by that. Now we're coming out of this with a whole heck of a lot of energy. They do have a Razor Leaf Ludicolo and a Sharpedo in the back, folks. What is this? What is this? Is this somebody... All right, let's do this, Mawile. Let's take this. All right, so we are shieldless at this point. Going for the Power Punch. Got to do as much damage as we can to this Ludicolo. With Razor Leaf, they're not going to be able to farm up very fast whatsoever. And we are loaded at 100 energy here with this Lantern. Thunderbolt. And then hitting a Surf, which is going to be enough to take them out. Not very effective, but still doing the job. And we're looking good. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Mawile imitation teams, get that out of here. I'm just joking. Next battle, what do we got? A Magnezone Shadow. Okay, well, ooh, the meteor shots are going to hurt like a mother heifer. All right, yep, that's doing a lot of damage there. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Grass Knot, just doing as much as we can. And they're shielding it up. If I recall this right, they're actually shielding up both of these here. We're actually going to shield this up ourselves because Shadow Magnezone, although resisting rock as well as grass, it's going to take a lot of damage from our Shadow Grass Knot here. And they're using 2 shields on that Magnezone. Almost trying to get to that Rock Slide, unfortunately not getting there. We're going to let this go. Bring in the Mawile. And they're immediately swapping into a Jellicent. And all right, we're going to bring in our Lantern. Counter them here. Probably a Shadow Ball. Okay, now at this point we want to farm up a little bit more. I think that's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. Don't know if this is going to KO. One more. Oh my goodness, son of a gun. You got to be kidding me. Of course, this is going to be a Surf here. So we're very low, and we do have the Mawile in the back. They're shieldless, so let's see what we can pull off here. Bringing in the Magnezone. Now, if they have some sort of a ground type, again, that is where the Play Rough is going to come in handy. Now, we're going to go ahead and go for Surf here. And I was waiting for the switch clock. It just wasn't ready yet. And they have a Glissopod. Okay, well, we can do this. If we get to the Play Rough, we're going to be able to take the win here. We're looking good. Mawile, let's go. Taking that win for us. Holding on to that last shield. We needed that. They were building up to do charge moves there. Next battle, met with a Mawile. Let's go Mawile, folks. Yeah, baby. Got to love to see it. This is why I do not mind this cup. All right, so we're just going to go Rock Slide here. Just throw some rocks on it. It's no problem. We're going to lose this matchup if we don't use any shields, obviously. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Going to let it all go here. Now we're going to go for the Grass Knot, which is going to do more. And it kind of puts them into a panic mode where they just start to throw all their energy because I just did more damage than they suspected I was going to do here. So yeah, hit me with that Power-Up Punch. And bring in the Mawile, take them out. Do they have a ground type? If they do, we're going to be screwed. And they bring in an Azumarill. First time I see one of those. Great. So I bring in my Lantern, and all hope isn't lost because it's not looking good. But we do need to get a Play Rough off on the Azumarill, as well as getting that last shield from them. And they freaking get my shield with an Acid Spray, folks. They got me with an Acid Spray. Well done, damn it. I'm not really ever seeing that, so kind of unexpected. Now at this point I'm thinking, what, another Acid Spray? And that's exactly what it is. Great. So we're going to go ahead and hit another Surf here. I'm looking at my switch clock like, come on. Let me go right in there. All right, so we got a Fire Fang through, and that was critical. We needed that to happen. So now that Escavalier's got pretty much like 1 or 2 HP on it. All right, now getting to the Play Rough up against this Azumarill here. Mawile is not doing enough damage, and they're going to be able to quick move me down, folks. This is not looking too good for me here. So I think I actually... all right, Surf. Surf is what we're going to have to do. This is going to be enough. Let's go. And we're going to be able to quick move down the Escavalier because we did hit them with a Fire Fang with the Mawile. Let's go. Next battle, what are we going to see here? A Pelipper. All right, we've seen this before. Let's see what happens. I do believe they're going to let this one go as well. You're going to see how much it does do. One shot pretty much after a couple of quick moves. Pretty much almost takes them out here. Letting that Wither Ball go, no problem at all. Still at about half health, and they are going to be retreating after that and bringing in a Lucario. We're going to go ahead and bring in our Mawile here, and I think we want to shield this up, okay? Because we let it go. Shadow Ball. Okay. That wasn't really smart. I bring in the Cradily to farm them down here. I feel like I should have shielded that up because their Pelipper is pretty much done. Exactly. Damn it, we could have had some fun here with the Registeel, but no, I had to let the Mawile go. Star of the show. And we're not even able to even get off the Rock Slide. Now this is going to be some crap to pull off. So we let the Zap Cannon go. We got to be careful. They're going to try to catch that Pelipper. There it is. So we just farm them down. They've lowered our attack. We've got 2 shields. They've got 1 shield, and our attack is down, okay? And they just shielded up our Thunderbolt. We're not looking good. I'm thinking to myself, I should just back out. This is not going to happen here. But wait, let's see what happens here. There's still a little bit of hope. Going for a Thunderbolt, and I'm thinking, okay, that did a decent amount. Now let's go ahead and just hit this Surf before they hit another Zap Cannon and lower our attack again, so at least we can do that chip damage, and that's not doing bad damage really whatsoever. So at this point, I'm thinking, all right, we need to get to the Thunderbolt. We're down bad on our attack. Screw the Thunderbolt. We get there, but we still go for the Surf, and it is going to be enough to take the win, and that was a good one there, fighting to the very end with that Lantern. Should have kept them all while alive. Next battle met with a Sandslash Alolan, and I wanted to retreat, but then again, they are going to be part ice, so Rock Slide is going to be doing a decent amount. We're going to go ahead and let this go, which was probably not a good idea because, geez, shadow damage, okay? Not their shadow damage. We're shadow, taking 20% more. My gosh, it does so much. But thankfully, they're going to actually be using their energy here instead of farming me down, so that's great. They're retreating into a Jellicent, and I immediately bring in the Lantern here, and I was trying to get that off. Pretty sure this is going to be a Shadow Ball. Gonna let it go though, putting our hope into that Mawile, because at this point it's still very usable with this much health, but it's pretty low. Farming them down, looking good, decent amount of health left, bringing back the Sandslash, and I'm thinking, this doesn't really mean that there's something weak to it in the back, but I wonder what it is going to be. If they have something weak to fire in the front, there's probably going to be some sort of a water type. So I immediately swap, and that's exactly what it was, making sure we keep our Lantern alive. You got to always think about that too. The type that you see up front is there's probably going to be a counter to it in the back, so if you kind of work around that situation to keep a Pokemon alive instead of them slowly chipping you down, that's kind of what they want to do a lot of times, because it's going to be super effective to what they have in the back. Anyways, we're up against this Mantang here, and it's a silly little battle with them lowering my attack. I raise my attack, and then they go for another Bubble Beam, and I'm just Fire Fanging a water type, but still doing a decent amount. Mawile always putting in the work, bringing in the Lantern, using my last shield. Things are getting a little tricky here, folks. What is it gonna be? And we're getting to the Surf, and we're going to be able to pull this one off here and then spark down that Mantang. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic! You will see.